Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic week and getting closer and closer to the weekend. I know you all probably need a break as much as I do, quite frankly. So I hope you are sitting back and ready to get a quick senior living sales tip from me. Hi, my name is Bree Stewart. If this is your first time checking in, thank you so much for seeing what this is all about. It is incredibly informal. I will probably disappoint you if you had high hopes. This is no big production. It is simply me sharing senior living sales tips that I have learned through my experience of directly selling at a community and also leading sales teams. If this can help one salesperson grow their census or be more successful or get that family to a solution faster, then my work here is done and I am incredibly happy about it. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. Without further ado, the only requirement I have of you is this has to be after 5 o'clock when you watch this so you can have a glass of wine, unwind with me, and think about how we can all grow and get better together so we can be more successful and help more older adults. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's a topic that comes up literally probably every single month at least in sales teams, and it'll be that they're having challenges with selling certain apartments or suites. I hear the word unit a lot. I hate that word. I would prefer that you use apartment or suite. Unit just feels a little sterile to me. Like, hey, I'm living on the unit. That doesn't feel good to me. And so be mindful of the words that you use. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you were on my sales team and you were watching this, you know how weird I am about those things, so I'm so sorry. But anyway, so they are struggling selling an apartment or a suite or a cottage or a villa for that matter for a number of reasons. But one that comes up really often is that their community needs a renovation. So they are struggling to sell because they didn't get that remodel that we were all promised before COVID, and then the whole world exploded, and unfortunately the funds weren't there. So we are in a standstill of being able to renovate and remodel, and we can't get to that renovation or remodel until what? We fill our community and grow our census. So that's quite the conundrum that you find yourself in. I get it, trust me, been there. I've had those same frustrations, and then I've had to take a step back. And this phrase I use probably more with my team, and they're probably so sick of me saying it, but control your controllables. You've been entrusted to sell your community. Do you believe in your community? That's the first question you've got to ask yourself. If the answer is yes, guess what? You can still sell that community and that apartment and that suite, even if you don't have that renovation or remodel that you were hoping for. And here's how. So take a sip of wine here. Here's how you do it. So keep in mind, you are always going to have competition, new competition coming into your market. That will never stop. You will continue to get older as a community, and you will no longer be the brand new shiny building. And if you are the brand new shiny building right now, that's great. I won't say it's easier for you, but it can be a lot easier to sell those, especially since it's the new kid on the block, right? But keep in mind, even you are going to come to a place where the next best thing has come into the market and you are no longer the brand new community. So what do? You're going to have times where 10 years down the road, let's say, there was a certain, decor that you did that was great for 2023. It won't be so great in 2033, right? So what do you do and how do you overcome that? I think the biggest thing that we have to anchor into is how a community makes somebody feel when they walk through the door. It has absolutely nothing to do with the brick and mortar of it. I have sold communities, and I know a lot of people on my sales team have sold communities that were, for all intents and purposes, considered the stepchild of their markets. And they were a challenge, or so everybody thought, because they were too focused on the wrong things. Well, if you don't believe in it, then how the heck are you going to sell it to an older adult that needs to find a solution, right? I mean, that's just with anything. If you don't live and breathe by your community and what you're selling, one, that feels really icky. So I would encourage you to speak to your team and share your concerns if you don't believe in your community, so you all can work together to find a solution so you are able to do that, number one. But number two, if you're already there and you know you've got a fantastic team, you know you've got fantastic engagement and opportunities for older adults to live a bigger life than what they've been living, well, start there. So think about when somebody comes into your community, what's most important to them? It's not that you've got the brand new granite countertops. It's not that you've got the, agreeable gray on the walls. It's that first impression of how you make them feel. And keep in mind, we make decisions with all of our senses, right? So when I sold a community that was really desperately, y'all, needing a renovation, I had to remember that. So one, what we could really do is we can make sure we are clean. So out of date and needing a renovation does not equal dirty. So make sure that you and your operations team have a plan, have discussions, walking your community in the morning with a cup of coffee, checking things to make sure all those dust bunnies, all those cobwebs, make sure you don't have any of that, because those will come out a little bit more, especially in an older community. So your cleaning team has to be on top of it. And it is up to you, because you are interested of selling that community, to walk with your operations team, to have those discussions and help them understand the why of why you're asking and why this is important. So think about somebody walking in. Well, they're looking for reasons to tell you no. And so that would be a very obvious one. Well, there was a smell in there. It felt that it wasn't clean. All right, so let's stop right there, right? So let's make sure that we are spotless. If you have got an opportunity to clean your carpets, you're probably gonna have to up the ante on that a little bit more with an older community if you've got carpet. So just keep that in mind. These are conversations that you should feel empowered to have with your ops team so you can effectively sell your community. So we sell, or we buy things with our eyes, what we see. So, we're gonna check that off the box. All right, let's think about something else that they're gonna see when they walk in the door. First impressions, the person at the receptionist desk. Is that person smiling? Does that person know that they are coming? And does that person have a feeling of warmth about them, a warm hug when they walk in the door? I know you all have experienced, you go to a doctor's office or any place with a receptionist, and they're looking down on their phone. They look like they're so unhappy to be there. They don't even greet you. It's like you're an inconvenience because you walked through the door for one of their services. So you know how that feels. So think about something, and that could be something as easy as, getting your car checked. Well, this is a totally different experience. You are choosing a community for your loved one or for yourself, a major life decision. So imagine how much heavier that sits on somebody when somebody's at the front desk not giving you the time of day. So again, those are conversations and things you need to be aware of to sell your community without a renovation. You can get that right off the bat. Make sure you've got a strong concierge at the front desk, and make sure you are communicating when each and every tour is scheduled maybe you found something in discovery about that person that's walking through the front door. Share that with your front desk team so they have a little bit of information for when that person walks in. Put a sign out that says welcoming that person to your community. Something I always loved to do is I would take one of our parking spots right out front, and I would just print out their name, reserved for so-and-so. I would laminate it and I would put it right there in the parking spot. I kid you not, it cost what? 5 cents for me, and they felt so special. Before they even walk through your door, they know that you thought about them. So they're already walking to your door in a great mood with positive feelings. I've literally had people take pictures of it because they haven't felt special in a long time. So think about that. Those are the little details. The devil is in the details. And I can't tell you enough how that'll already set the tone before they even step through the front doors of your community. Okay, so you've got a clean community. You've got a welcoming, warm first impressions or receptionist desk. You've made something special for them, welcoming them to your community. All right, what about smells? Let's think about that. So yeah, you've got the clean smell, but you don't want that to be overwhelming, like you just sterilized the whole darn place. Nobody likes that smell. That smells like a hospital. So what could you do to make them feel even more welcomed and homey and warm when they walk through the door? I swear to you, I went on Amazon, I got a bread maker, and I would make loaves of fresh bread. I would be able to put on the timer, let's say 20 minutes before they got there, 15 minutes before they got there. So the aroma would be coming out as soon as they walked in the front door. You can do it with cookies. You can do it with really anything. You could do an incense of sort, there's so many different options there. So honestly, be creative, but go ahead and get all of those senses going in the right direction right before you even talk to them. That's setting the stage, right? And so think about that versus they come to your community, you've done all of these pieces, and you've talked about how much you know that this is the right place for them, right? You've done a fantastic discovery. You've done a fantastic sit tour sit, and you ask the question, right? You make sure, so you can go back to some previous videos to talk about closing and how important that is, and making sure that you have a mutually agreed upon next step. Okay, let's say you did all of that fabulously, but then they drop this bomb on you, right? Well, after this, I'm going to so-and-so down the road, and I'm going to talk with them. And that's your brand new competitor that just came into the market. That is the brand new shiny building. You are probably freaking out inside. Oh crap, they've got the brand new countertops. They've got the, freaking orchestra over in the corner playing for them, what have you. Okay, great. But are they gonna just focus on the features and what it looks like, or are they gonna focus on how they're gonna make that person feel? Is it personalized, or are they just hoping that the beauty of their community will make the sale? I am here to tell you that you can overcome that. I've had people very much so go to the community that was much nicer on all accounts when it came to aesthetics. But they would call me and say, Bree, I keep thinking about your community because of how you made me feel and how your team made me feel. I felt like that was home. That felt like family to me. And so I want you to think through some opportunities for you to not go ahead and put up your hands and say, I can't sell this until it's renovated. If you can keep it clean, if you can have a great relationship with your team to make sure they understand how important it is for everyone to greet that person as you're walking through the community, and understanding that you guys have got to really, really anchor into your culture, then I promise you, you will be able to overcome selling those apartments or units or suites that you've had challenges with, for the sheer fact is that you're a place that they feel welcomed and that they feel known. And for a lot of people, especially in these times after COVID, they have not had an opportunity to feel that way for a very, very long time. So you are actually doing a disservice to them if you don't do this. And it's gonna make you feel good, and your census is gonna grow. It's gonna make corporate feel great. And guess what? You very, very much so may be able to get that renovation that you've been hoping for once you keep growing your census. I promise you, they're very more apt to say yes when they see that number climb. So keep in mind when you want to complain or maybe get frustrated, I hear you. Take a time to vent about it. But remember, what can I control today? And that's my census, and that's knowing that I have a fantastic culture here for somebody to come and live a bigger life. So I hope this was helpful for you. Cheers. Have a fantastic rest of your week and a wonderful weekend, and we will talk next week. Bye.